Hi everybody. Okay, so it's so weird because I didn't realize until I can see it in the camera here next to me that flame on this candle looks huge, but don't worry, I promise I'm fire safe. Okay. So super excited if you follow me, if you tune into me sometimes, you might know that I love to do something that I normally don't do, which is do some kind of card reading, but particularly I find it super fun to do these at the equinoxes and solstices, these pivotal points, these transitions of cycles and natural patterns that we go through in nature, because that's how it's aligned. Um, and also, it tends to be sometimes, especially right now, it's lined up with a whole lot um, astrologically, as well as, um, you know, it's like the calendar quarters usually shift around these times. So it's just always seems to align and it breaks down this way for me. Sorry, I started to get delayed because I started to get information from spirit. Um, but anyway, so I love doing these. Today is fall equinox, meaning that here in the Western Hemisphere, Northern Western Hemisphere, we're getting ready to transition officially into fall. This is the day when the light and the darkness are even again. I will do another one of these at winter solstice. I'll do it at spring equinox. I do it at summer solstice. So that's how this breaks down. And I checked in again, still using a deck that I almost never do, but somehow it feels appropriate for this. And it is the Sacred Geometry Oracle deck, Francis Hart. Whoever you are, if you're out there, if anybody knows Francis, thanks for this. I don't know it particularly well, to be very honest with you, which is fine, because I think actually, in a lot of ways, that's probably a good thing because what it's going to do is cause me to use my intuition more than rely on a book. And if you, like I said, if you know me, then you know that I don't really need the cards. And so I rarely do the cards, which is okay. And this is just kind of a fun thing. It's kind of a way to give you visual representation of what spirit wants to bring our awareness to and around. And they, because it's me and this is how I operate, I always like to get the sort of hows, the tools, the practical, tangible things that we can do that are going to help us navigate these energies and messages. So one thing that is different, if I can do this in a short enough period of time, again, I know people don't like to usually sit more than 20-25 minutes to be with me or watch this unless you're like in a session that's only about you or like a workshop or something like that. But you know, these little YouTube videos do better on the shorter side. And I'm not gonna lie, these readings have tended in the past to go more like an hour. So I'm gonna try and go through this as quickly as I can to give information. Shout out to everybody tuning in. Hi. If you want to throw up comments, then or questions as I move through that, please do that. I will try my best to get to it. Um, and if not, always you can leave the comments as you watch it afterwards. And again, I'll jump on and try and flush out any questions or comments that you have as we move through this. So typically when I've done these solstice and equinox sort of forecasting energy messages for the upcoming 3 months. Usually, what I do is just sort of an overview of those energies. I did pull cards out of, again, it's this sacred geometry oracle deck. Can you see that? There you go. I did pull cards for each month also, and I will post them over on my Instagram, like just a photo of them, because it might be a little bit hard for everyone to see them in the video here today. But okay, I swear I'm jumping in now. So the first card that I pulled came out reversed, and in this deck, reverse does mean it's something. Um, this is what the card looks like. And this is actually called the birth canal card. I mean, there's some Latin at the top, which I don't know Latin, so I can't help you with that. But my best guess would be Visca Tiscus, which I'm very sure is not how you're supposed to say that. Anyway, it's the birth canal card for me, and it's reversed in the deck. So the first energy that the first message or forecast around the energy of what's coming in the next 3 months with regards and what that is indicating to us is that this is the time. And again, like I said, if you've been watching me, if you've been following my content, if you've been seeing what I'm putting out there, if you get my emails, you know I've been hammering into this really hard this month because everything, the energies, the moons, the eclipses, all this shit is pointing to what is no longer for us, what no longer serves us. And that's what this reversed version of the birth canal card means. It means that we are basically, if you didn't clean up your shit right now, then you are even more, these next 3 months are going to keep pushing this issue, the things that you need to release and let go of. The next 3 months are going to keep showing you what is not for you, what is not serving you, maybe any longer. Doesn't mean never, but maybe any longer. Maybe it means that it's never been for you. Regardless, this is a big, it is not for you. If you are currently, here's what I want to say also, because I feel like this is definitely going to be true for some people that are watching this, that are tuning into this, or watch this on replay. If there is something that is presenting itself now, or you know is going to be coming up in the next 3 months, they're also saying to me this could be relationships, especially in the Virgo often, I don't know. I'm not a big astrology person. I never thought of Virgo for relationships, but this whole month spirit is keep saying Virgo also rules structure, systems, relationships. So if anybody's an astrologer out there and I got it wrong, sorry. That's what they're telling me. But they're saying that these next 3 months, or if there's something to consider, maybe you just started dating someone. Like I said, you know that there's some kind of option or some kind of decision, opportunity, perchance. It could mean that something shows up in this last quarter of the year that is not for you. So, one of the things that I like to always dig into and just say and mention is that when I give information to somebody, when I'm in a reading, or when you hear me or anyone in a video that's giving information, and regardless of, or maybe not regardless, when I leave it, like for me right now, I'm leaving this very open-ended. When whatever it is I'm saying, thing, situation, opportunity, relationship, decision, choice, whatever pings for you as a thing that, oh shit, I think that might be what she's talking about, that's probably it. We dismiss so much our own abilities to get and know information, our intuition, our internal GPS, our connection to divine God spirit, whatever you call it. We ignore it, we dismiss it. We haven't learned to trust that that's something that we can do for ourselves, but we can. And so as I go through this and there's anything that pings, if there's anything that you're thinking, oh, that could be related to this, then I want you to know that it is. I also encourage you that if you watch this once and you find yourself some point in the next 3 months, come back and watch this again. Get whatever you need to get again. Okay. So I just wanted to, what I was about to say, and spirit kind of held my tongue, was I was about to say, so the overarching energy message forecast for the next 3 months is going to be that there's all these things coming up that are not for you. And spirit kind of held my tongue, made me stop and not say that, because what they wanted, um, what they're saying is that it's not an overarching, but it will be there. Like, so I don't want to create any kind of fear or worry that this is going to be this dominant energy or message over the next 3 months. It's not, but it is absolutely the thing that we're going to need to address and acknowledge and be clear about over the next 3 months. The second card that they bring in is, again, kind of that an underlying current, or the part of the thread that moves through the next 3 months is this is called the Ka card, it says on here. There you go. This is your life, and this is actually life energy, though. That's what it means to me. It's kind of the side interpretation, or the more lay interpretation of the card. It's Ka energy, life energy. And again, this is reversed. So, first 2 cards coming out in forecast for the next 2. I'm just kind of tuning in. Because again, like I said, I don't really know this deck that well. So when Ka energy comes in, it very much is marrying with this with the energy that I talked about in the first card, being reversed, about this addressing of things that is not for us. And so having the life energy reversed is just kind of reiterating that, in that it's about a sense of loss. So they want you to know and be aware of the fact that over the next 3 months, okay, guys, I'll get there. Over the next 3 months, as these things that are coming up that you need to acknowledge and release and let go, there will be a sense of loss. So again, there's this place of releasing things that are no longer for you. They're again laying into me about relationships, and also and beliefs, that there's a sense of the relationship that we hold to ourselves, and also the relationship that we hold to, I wanted to say God spirit, but they're actually saying what's going to come up for a lot of people is the relationship to themselves and community. For some people, of course, this is real fucking hot right now. politics and religion, right? That's people's community. A lot of times that's the perceived. And so there's going to be this big thing for those tuning in to this and that find their way to this over the next 3 months. You're going to be experiencing a sense of loss by having to acknowledge the things that are not for you. And it's not going to feel great at times. Um, they they're saying to me, and I don't know why they made me. They just did this, but they actually brought in this heaviness in my chest. It was a brief moment experience of it kind of being an overwhelming sense of loss, and but more than loss, even I don't want to say despair, but it was heavy, and it hurts your heart. And I actually just got chills when I said that out loud. So acknowledging, for those of you, like you said, they're also saying to me again, come back and watch this again when you need it. If you start experiencing this and it's maybe like November or the end of November, getting into the holidays, or maybe it's your family that is giving you this sense of disappointment in that they can't love you or accept you, or you just can't connect with them anymore, whatever that looks like. Know that spirit understands that we need to acknowledge that sense of loss, allow ourselves to grieve it. This is so, so, so important. And unfortunately, like I said, this what is not for us is coupled with a sense of loss. And this is going to be sort of the main threads, main energies for the next 3 months, you know, for the till the end of the year. So as I started out by saying, one of the things that I love to always ask spirit, the way that I like to work with people, the way I like to deliver information, is that I always want to ask you guys, okay, but how? What do we do about that? And so this last card, that's kind of the forecasting of the overarching theme for this quarter, is called Calm Within. It's a beautiful card. This one's not reversed. Yay, us. Can you all see that? Oh, it's kind of, the light is kind of washing out the colors there a little bit. Man, she's very cool. She's pretty powerful. Spirit just said to me, when I said that out loud, Spirit just said to me, that's exactly what we want you to know. That you are powerful. You are really cool. And you have the ability to call in, turn inward, and find this calm within yourself, no matter what's happening outside of you, no matter what is falling away. So the best way, and they had brought this up when I was discussing the last card, but they're, kind of marrying it in again, with this card, with the calm within card, is that the way that we navigate through this next quarter, this next season, is very much in the way that we go through fall. It's all about, everything starts dying off and everything needs to be cleaned up and packed away, and maybe you get rid of the stuff you need to get rid of, but there's this real shutting down of everything, right? There's this where we start to physically, for those that are like in the north part of the northern hemisphere, it's going to get cold. You're going to start to be inside more. So basically, just really reaffirming that the energy and the message that we're going to see played out loud in our lives, in a collective, they're saying to me, like, even in like a world platform kind of way, you're going to see this letting go You're going to be feeling the dealing with the sense of loss. And the best way that you can cope with this is acknowledging it, because that's the one thing they keep saying as I've moved through these cards, is that the most important thing that we need to be doing is not bypassing what the truth is of what we need to let go of. Because some of you, and I'm gonna lump myself in there, even myself, I got a little stubbornness. It's just sometimes I don't want to let go of things, even when life is showing me, spirit is showing me, my internal guidance is telling me that I need to let go of something. Sometimes I don't want to. Sometimes I don't want to experience loss. Sometimes the idea of that loss feels heavy in my chest. It's funny because that feeling just rose up in my chest again as I was about to deliver that part. Um, they're saying you know how to calm and soothe yourself, and they're also saying for those that have had a lot of trouble in life, or maybe even they're saying in the last 2 years, regulating and calming yourself, finding ways to be able to calm yourself. And this may look like some things that some might say are kind of addictive. Maybe it's drinking, doing weed, mushroom, like different things to, and don't be wrong, I am not against any of those things, but obviously there's a healthy limit to them, and there's a place and space and pace for all of them. And so they're saying to be honest about this over the next 3 months. Get real honest with yourself and be really acknowledging about the ways that you've been calming or soothing yourself, the ways that maybe you've been telling yourself is how you get to your inner being and let the outside world go, and just take a look at what parts you're using um, as a crutch, that it's not real, and that it's time for you to move away from and to let go of for yourself. Okay. So that's the three overarching. It is just over 20 minutes right now. It's 22 minutes. So I'm going to just go for it on the last three cards. If you're sticking with me, if you're still in there, awesome. Maybe you can just like drop, I don't know. Can you do that here on Instagram and all that? You can like thumbs up or heart something, so I know you're still hanging in there and you're ready for me to go and just take a quick peek at these things over the next, month by month kind of way. So the energy and forecast that they gave me for the month of October is this card that's called June's Companions, which is not very, there we go. It's not very look how pretty that is. And it's got monarch butterflies, and it's got dragonflies, and it's got this I think that maybe is the flower of life, sacred geometry pattern back there. I don't know. But this is definitely about transformation. This is all about the dragonflies, and the butterflies are all about transformation. And when we couple this with the stuff that I talked about, is the thread that's running through this whole quarter, this last quarter of the year, you know, it's to remind you and give you positivity, they're saying, because it sounded heavy what I had to say already about the things that we are letting go of, and the ways and the spaces that we're allowing ourselves to experience loss, to feel loss, to grieve the loss, and also to turn back to our inner selves. This is the path. This is the key to real transformation in our life. And as much as it might feel like by letting go and experiencing loss and having to turn internal and be kind of hibernating, might not feel like renewal. They're saying in October in particular, there's going to be a real strong potential for you to start to experience some real transformation in your internal growth, they're saying, or some people in the spiritual realm, it's a more trendy word to use, is about expansion. And so they're saying if you're doing the three things that I talked about for the month of October, it's going to be a huge catalyst for creating expansion and transformation in your life in a really positive way. Like in the way that's going to get you to the place that you've been wanting to go to. They're saying not just the place that you've been wanting to go to for like the last couple months or even this year, but like the place that you've been wanting to experience yourself, your relationship, your business, your success. But it's very internal. And the only way we get to experience things on the external is by doing the stuff on the internal, right? And so just reminding you that it's really that internal shit you got to do. You got to face, you got to let it go, you got to grieve it, you got to do all the things to get that outward experience that you really want. So that's definitely there and ready for the taking in October. The energy of November actually came up in the card. It's the golden spiral on here, Fibonacci ratio. Those of you that have probably seen other videos of mine, you'll know I got one. I'm not used to this camera being backwards. I got mine right here. I keep mine right on me. That reminder. So in the month of November, there it is. In the month of November, doing the three things, following the energies, the forecast, it's so funny because it's not a prediction. Because if you don't do the stuff they tell you to do, then sure as shit not gonna feel like that. That is not gonna feel like your experience. But if you do it, then you will. This November energy, this golden ratio, is all about learning, witnessing, starting to see the divine plan coming together. It's about the balance. It's about being able to get into flow with that divine plan. The way that we do this, going back to they're pointing me back to this original card that's the overall theme for the 3 months. They're saying is that you can't get into that flow. You can't start to experience all the good stuff that's happening, that's a part of divine plan, that's part of the plan that spirit really has for you, with you, that they want to give you, if you aren't letting go of the things. Or so they keep coming back to this acknowledging, because they keep saying it to me over and over. There needs to be acknowledging of what needs to be let go of. And I'm going to be honest. So sometimes you will hear me say, because I know it to be true, that we don't always have to go digging into the flesh of things, Sometimes we can clear things energetically. We can allow things to be removed and released from us by asking our higher self, our spirit guides, our angels, whoever it is that you want to call in, Jesus, the saints, whatever, it don't matter. Um, by calling them in and asking them to take something from us. Spirit's very clear throughout this whole 30 minutes. They keep using about acknowledging, acknowledging, acknowledging. So even though you hear me say sometimes it doesn't matter if we acknowledge it, that we can just let it go to a certain degree, or it can be removed and released from us, they're saying there's something very, very important right now in the next 3 months about really acknowledging what needs to be let go of. Okay. And then to wrap this up for y'all, this last card, the card for December, is reversed again. Makes me feel like December ain't gonna feel like a picnic for a lot of people. Whoa, trying to. Oh, there you go. It's called Invoking the Infinite. There, that's a good shot of that for you. It's called Invoking the Infinite. It is in a reversed position. So that energy for the month of December, in the reverse position, the invoking the infinite is all about giving yourself rest. It's about saying whatever is coming up, whatever is when you're going through in October, November. December is not a time for you to be pushing at healing things, fixing things, activating the next stage. So for all those people that like to jump into December to try and plan out what's going to happen in January, um, they're saying let it go. December, for those tuning in, needs to be a place of rest. It needs to be a place of allowing. I want to use the word darkness, but again, they kind of stop me and hold my tongue. And they just give me chills when I said that out loud, because they're saying they don't want me to call it that because they don't want people to feel like it's depression. Again, in the northern hemisphere, we're going in. By the time we get to December, we're in a place where there's a lot more dark than there is light, right? So it's a natural occurrence for us to allow there to be less light, but it also doesn't have to be, this is what they're saying to me, doesn't have to be depression, not so much light. Know that in this time in December, it's more like a cocooning. It's more like I'm trying to think, put words to the way that they're making me feel it. It's like cocooning. It's like being in the cave, kind of, sort of speak. It's like snuggled in and cozied up, just like we do in December when you're in a colder climate, right? But it's like how, as a child, pulling the blankets up over your head might feel soothing. It's that kind of darkness. It's not like a depression darkness. It's, like evil darkness. It's not like that. But what they're saying for December is to allow all the things that have been coming up that needed to be released, that you have acknowledged, that you are letting go, that you are admitting are not for you. Allow instead of trying to push into a place of healing or or really probing and poking at what needs, you need what lesson you need to take away from it. Allow December to just be kind of this dormant rust. Allow the emotions to flow through as they do, as they want to, as they'll come up in that month. I mean, of course, that's true for any time, but certainly they're making me have a stronger indication that that's going to be the case in December. So, all right, I didn't do too bad. 35 minutes to give you the arching themes and then also a little snippet for each month, October, November, December, to give you some guidance, some ways to be able to work with what's coming for this last quarter of the year. Again, don't hesitate to drop comments, ask questions. Share this with your friends, anybody that you think might like it. Subscribe if you've not already subscribed so you always know when I put out new videos and new information for you. And also, you can jump over to my Instagram and Facebook page, and I will post the photos of the cards so you have them for yourself. But Spirit multiple times said, I don't know how this works here. But maybe you can like bookmark this or pin this for yourself so you can come back to it at a later time in the quarter when you kind of need to refresh or listen or hear something again as you're maybe going through something and facing something. Okay. So thank you all so much for joining me. I hope you got some really good nuggets out of this and you liked it. And until next time, Sundays, I always channel spirit. So you get different message for the week. And I invite you to that as well. Thanks so much for being here.